forgot. But yes. Okay, so today is November the 20th. We're going to start by combining algebraic expressions. Here's the deal. Y'all have been simplifying numbers for years. You just didn't realize it. You've been simplifying stuff like 7 plus 9 by telling me it's the number 16. You just simplified it. It's kind of weird, but that's what it is. All it is now, go ahead and face forward, back to her. Thank you. All it is we're now going to throw in some variables. And there's a few rules, such as, okay, if you have something like this, okay, 2x plus 5x. If it is just x, it's not x squared, it's not x times y, it's just x's, then you are allowed to combine whatever's in front and call it, like this one, I'm allowed to call it 7x. Okay? If, let's say you have something like this. Let's say you have 2ab plus 3ab. Okay? As long as there's ab there and another ab, they got to both be the same variables, then you're allowed to combine them or simplify them. What these are called is like terms. They are, you can put them together because they're the same. Now, I just want to throw in one thing. If down here at the end of this thing, there was like, I don't know, plus 19a, we can't combine that in there because that is different than ab. So we would combine those two and just bring down plus 19a. To be honest, we can't solve them. We don't know any numbers, so we can't solve them. Okay, you will see other ones, and I'm just kind of being silly and showing some weird stuff, but you might see this, stuff like 2x squared plus 3x squared. Okay, well, if one is squared and you're going to combine it with something, it's got to be squared. So you can only combine like an x squared with an x squared. So let's say I wrote out a long problem. I'm going to kind of just show you a trick. Watch. Okay. I'm going to kind of show you just the way I kind of look at it. And color kind of helps or whatever. What I do, just listen for just a second. I see x squared is the first thing. So, anything with an x squared, this is what my brain's kind of doing. That's 2x squared plus 3x squared down here. Plus another 3x squared would be what? 3 plus 3. 6 plus 2, 8. So you're up to an 8x squared so far with the x squared part. Okay, now look at the other thing. I've got a y and a 7y. Okay, so when there's just a letter, and this is kind of like something new too, I'd show you. If there is a boring letter by itself, like a y, your brain has to imagine, starting today, that it's like there's a little 1 right there. Because I want you to think about it. 1 times y is y. So what it is it's kind of like saying this is 1y plus 7y to give you 8y. And that's all we're doing. Everything that matches, we get to kind of put together. Okay? They could even give you one kind of like this. Let's say you have let me see. Okay, so start with the 2x. What would go with the 2x? 6x. So 2x plus 6x is 8x. Okay? Is there anything to go with this?
No.
No, so I just got to bring it down.
7 and 9.
Ah, but listen, can I combine a 7 plus 9? Yeah, what would they be? 16. So I can actually simplify that. I can make it what I call prettier. That's all we're doing today is we're going to take these problems, clean them up, as I call it. It's called simplifying them. And then some of them might have distributive property in them. So, let's start with this.
I thought you didn't want us to love. If after we already did one thing, I thought you didn't want us to do another thing.
Okay, good question. In order of operations, you only do one step per line. You're right, totally. Okay, on this, they're allowing us to do more than one at a time. Okay? The weird part would be this. We can't go any further because we don't know numbers. Does that make sense? Or letters. We don't know what they're for. Okay, but let's say over on the side, all of a sudden Miss Donahue said, you know what, let's make X 2 and let's make Y 7. And you had to continue working this thing out now. Okay? Then you would start showing it number by number, like nice and detailed. But we're allowed to on this, thank goodness. Kind of shorten it a little bit. Okay, now, good question. No one's really asked that all day. I've been waiting for it. Good question. Here we go. It's not hard. It is kind of weird. To me, teaching algebra to you guys is like I have to teach you a foreign language. The one thing about algebra, I mean, really, because it's all this X, Y, weird number stuff that you've never seen before. So I've got to get you understanding kind of this foreign language that you've never seen before. Here is the weird thing about math, and I've said this every year, all the time. This is one of those topics that some of you are good at. Some of you love algebra. It's very straightforward. There's rules. You do the rules, you get the right answer, you're done. Some of you hate algebra. Okay? Once again, the ones who usually don't like algebra are the ones who like the geometry stuff. Because the geometry stuff is all like spatial and you get to think about it and touch it and make a shape and all that stuff. Our brain works different with every math topic. So don't, if this is hard for you, listen, don't stress out. Just keep kind of going. It gets easier the more you do. It's kind of like learning a language. At first it's all scary and crazy, but then slowly as you get into it, it will get easier. Like once you've learned all the little tricks and all that. Okay, so this is the note sheet that we've been doing in every class today. And we've been doing pretty much front and back. Here we go. So we are going to be what they call simplifying each expression. They are just algebraic expressions. Now, starting out, I do a lot of highlighting just to kind of show kids what goes together. So, I see this 2x, and then down here, now listen, this is the one trick I need you to learn. That is 5x, but listen, keep the symbol that is in front with it. So it's 2x plus 5x. So it's 7x
Plus 3.
not minus 3.
So you can't do that.
Okay, listen. The 7 plus 5 is, 2 plus 5 is 7. Guys, listen. Everybody breathe for a second. Okay. 2x plus 5x is 7x. Okay, that 3 has nothing to pair with. So we just bring it down, minus 3. That's all we can do on that one. Okay, on the next one, 13a. Well, there's no other a's, so I just write 13a. Okay, looking at the next one, I see a 4b, or even a positive 4b, minus 1b. Now, I know there's not a 1 there, but our brain has to kind of imagine it being there.
It's 3b.
So it's 3b. Now, think about it. Is that a positive 3 or negative 3? Positive. Listen, if you're at 4, I want you to think about this. If it's a positive 4, and you only take away 1, we're still in the positives, right? That's why it's a plus 3b. I'm going to be honest, for right now, they should all, it's going to be easy, positive math. But as you go on and we teach you subtracting negative numbers and stuff, then it'll start getting weird. And we'll have to start thinking, wait a minute, is that positive or negative? But if you think about it, if you're at 4 and you just take away 1, you're at positive 3, right? So that's why it's a plus 3. Okay? One day it might be minus 7. Well, that means you're back at the negative side. So we're not there yet, though. Okay. So look at the next one. This was some of the squared styles that we saw. Okay. This 8x squared can go with minus 5x squared. So that is, slow down, 8 minus 5, 3x squared. And then bring down this. There's no other friends for it. So plus 7xy.
Wait, I thought we would have to add the other squares.
Okay, listen, sit down. Let me tell you. These go together because they're x squared. Like 8x squared minus 5x squared makes that. Okay, but this is, it's like you can't combine this with anything. If I was going to combine it with something, it would have to have an x and a y after it.
No, I was thinking you see the two squares?
Uh-huh.
I was thinking you have to add those together and make it full.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, good question. You don't add squares together, just keep it a square. And I need y'all to know, they're not always squared. They might be thirds or fourths or fifths or sixths. Okay, but what he's talking about is adding the two 2's together. That's a good question. You just leave it as a 2. Yes. Okay, good. No one's asked that all day, so it's a good question. Okay, look at the next one. That's the hard part about this. Every one of them is different. So I kind of have to teach you something new in every weird one, okay? Like this one. Okay, 11c. We're going to take away 2c. 10c is what? 1c. But I'm going to tell you right now, 1c is not the most grown-up version. The most grown-up version is really just c. I want you to think about it. What is 1 times any letter?
1.
Nope. What is a letter? The letter. 1 times c is c, right? So to clean it up, the most prettiest way, that is the oldest, old people way, would be to write c minus 2. You really don't want to write a 1 in front if you can remember not to. Eventually, by 7th and 8th grade, they will make you take the 1 away. Okay? Right now, I know what it means. You're just realizing it's a 1c. But slowly but surely, we'll get that. Okay? Now, the next part is the part I didn't show you yet. It is where the distributive property kicks in. When you see one like this, it's still saying simplify it, but now, since the distributive property is in there, what we've got to do first is distribute, because of that. We got to distribute out that 3 before we start combining stuff. That's the key, before. Okay? So, first I'm going to do what I did on last night's homework. I'm going to do 3 times x is 3x plus 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, there's this little plus 10x here, so I'm going to bring it down. And all it is now is you can finally combine stuff. So 3x goes with 10x, 13x plus 12. It's kind of combining the two topics. Okay. We're good so far?
Yeah.
It's weird stuff. Okay. Number 6. It is distributive property again. Please stop. That 2 up against the parenthesis. So, 2 times 4 is 8 minus 2 2 times 2b, 4b, bring down the plus 7. No. 8 and 7. So I've got 8 plus 7 is 15 minus 4b.
And on the last one, you didn't add the two last ones together because there wasn't an x by the 12?
Yes. Yes. There's got to be an x there to keep combining. And this was the weird thing, I'll tell you. One of my class periods earlier, we did the whole front, we did the whole back. I gave them the homework sheet. They started combining everything. Okay, we didn't combine these because there is no x. And if there was a y, I still can't combine them. You can't. I guess you would say they were like, if there was a y there, they were doing 25xy. And I was like, I never said you could combine x and y, guys. Keep that in the back of your mind. You don't ever put them together unless they're similar, right?
And the reason you didn't add, so on 5, the reason you didn't add that, like you didn't multiply the 3 and the 10, just because it wasn't in the parentheses.
Right. It wasn't in the parentheses. Good. Yes. Yes. You stop distributive property at whatever's at the end of the parentheses. Okay. Here we go. On number 7, I'm going to keep the 4a. I see that 7's up against parentheses. So, I start distributive property. Okay. So, 14b plus 7a. And then there's this minus b. Just bring it down. Okay. Now, I start with what's in front.
4a and 7a.
Yes. 4a plus 7a.
11a.
11a. Okay. Then I've got 14b minus 1b. 13b. Anytime you see just a b, it's like a 1b. 7 plus 4 is 11. So 7a plus 4a. Okay.
I'm confused. Wait, because there's two in the front. It's just two numbers that are on the outside.
But that's okay. You just bring that one down. Distribute out that 7 to everything in parentheses.
So the closest number we're going to distribute that one?
Whatever's touching the parentheses.
Oh, alright.
Okay. Please stop mumbling. Please. Listen. What you're distributing, when you distribute, it's going to be the number or letter that is up against the parentheses. So I am distributing out that x to the 3 and the y. But if there's something before it, you just copy it. Like 5xy, I just copy. But I'm going to bring down x times 3 is 3x. X times y is xy. So I see a 5xy, 1xy, 6xy, plus 3x. 5xy plus 1xy. Kind of like imagining that 1 is there. Okay. It doesn't get any harder than this. The only difference is then putting more in there. So maybe they put another plus 7xy and you got to add another one to it. It's the only difference. Okay. So now let's do the back together. Here we go. Starts out a little, I think, easier, but okay. Here we go. So I've got the two things to go together would be 8d minus 5D. So that is 3D. Okay. Now I've got a plus 3 plus 6 is 9. So plus 9. Now, if you do it, that's fine. It's not wrong. If you write plus 3 plus 9, and then you write 3D, plus 6, and then you write 3D plus 9, you're fine. You're fine. Uh-huh.
So, for number 6, it says 7s plus 6, and then parentheses 8s plus 4. So would you add 7 and 8s first, or would you
Got to distribute it out first.
So you multiply 6 and 8?
Yes. Okay, so starting out with this one. I look at it, there's no distributive property. So I just go 6x minus 5x is 1x. But really we're going to call it x plus 9. It doesn't equal anything. That has to stop right there. X plus 9. It is 1x, but we're going to try to drop the 1. We good? Okay. Number 3. Here we go. I see this one. The first thing I see is that we got to do distributive property. I'm going to distribute out the 9. 9 times 7b, and then 9 times 2n. 63b plus 18n plus 5n.
18n and 5n go together.
Okay, this n goes with that n. Looking at those front signs, which would be
23.
yes. Now, I do want to give you a hint for your future. If this 63b is in the front, keep it in the front. In algebra, especially when we start doing negative numbers, you don't want to start flopping stuff around, because if you do, you'll put a negative sign on a positive number. So whatever order it's in, I'm trying to keep it in that same order as much as possible. Okay, next one. I'm going to do the 9 plus the 6
That's all you can do, right?
is 15.
That's all you can do.
And
yeah,
that
you're
is.
just going to add the other stuff.
That is. Listen, that's all you can do. You just got to leave the rest. Okay. Here we go.
5f.
So, let's see. Yes, 8f minus 3f is 5f
And plus 6, and that's it.
plus 6. That is a 7. 7s. But listen, make sure you distribute this out. Bring down 7s.
Can we add 5x to 6?
Here?
Plus 6?
No, because there's not an F on that.
Oh, I forgot.
Yes. Okay. There are rules, yes. Okay, I'm copying the 7s, but I've got to distribute this thing out. I got to do 6 times 8s, 48s, then distribute out. 6 times 4 is 24. Now you're allowed to combine like terms.
55s plus 24.
55s plus 24. Make sure you got that one right, because that's the weird one you asked me about. Okay. Next one, I'm going to do 8 times 5n, 40n, minus 8 times 9s, s, minus 6. And guys, like, you can't do anymore. I was just getting ready to say, there might be one you can't do anything with. They could give you one that's all simplified, and you're like staring at it, like you don't know. You just got to kind of look at it. Okay, slow down on this one. This one is 1w plus 4W?
It's 3W.
Okay.
How is it 5?
Oh, it's plus. I'm sure
Okay. Now, if you'll listen,
it's 5W.
this W is like saying 1W, but you always use the sign that's in front of it. Stop, please. So 1W plus 4W is 5W minus 2. Okay. These are both H's on number 9.
7H.
8H minus H, which equals 7H.
Yeah, 8H minus 1H is 7H plus 5R. Uh-huh.
On number 12, distribute 8 to 7 plus B.
7B minus 3.
But how would you distribute that? Would you multiply the one?
You got to do both of them. A times 7 plus A times B.
It's 9A.
I'll be there in just a second. 1 second. Okay. Here we go. 10A. I'm going to distribute out the 9. That'd be 45. Minus 9 times A is 9A. Okay. I'm putting this A with that A, but listen, this is 10A minus 9A,
Yeah.
which is 1A plus 45. Okay, now I've got 3K. 4 times K would be plus 4K. Minus 4 times 5N would be 20N. I can combine those to make 7K minus 20N. Okay, the last one. I do want you to notice something. I realize you're distributing an A times a 7. But when we write it correctly, you put 7 in front. So think about it. Yes, it's A7, but think about writing it as 7A plus A times B is AB minus 3A. 7A minus 3A, 4A plus AB. Okay? Now, I want you to understand something. This thing is no different. Here's the plan. I'm going to do a few with you. But if you don't stick with me, you're probably going to have 100 questions. Okay, before I show this, basically, some classes did not get this. And it's because of the weird schedule we had today. So some of you, that was your homework. I just ended up doing. Some of you, this is your homework. So basically, this is your 4th, 5th, and 7th. Okay. So the worksheet, or this one that we just did, this was the homework for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Okay. This is the homework for 4th, 5th, and 7th. The reason is our classes have been a lot longer. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to do some with you. So starting out, it is just like what we've been doing. You see an X, you really know it's a 1X. Plus a 2X is 3X. Okay? You see a 2X minus X is 1X, so just X.
It looks hard. It looks hard actually.
It's not. Thank you. 4X plus 2X
It's 6X.
6X. Now, please stick with me. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Look at number 9.
2X.
X plus X.
2X.
2X. Not hard, but I'm just showing you. Okay. When you get down to ones like 13 and 14, Just skip down with me, just for a second. Okay. You want to put together only the ones that match. So, I look at this. 2x squared goes with plus 1x squared, which is 3x squared. Okay? I can put this x, 2x, with that x,
3x.
plus 3x. That is as much as I can do on this thing. They don't match, so I can't go any further, Jennifer. I cannot go any further. Let's look at 14. I got a 5x minus 2x. 3x. Okay? I got an x squared plus x squared. 2x squared. You got it. Plus 2x squared. Okay? Let's look at 15. So I'm looking like I start out with whatever's over here. So I go, okay, 3x. Are there any more x's? Yes, there's a 2x minus x. So think about it. If you're 3, add 2, you have 5 minus 1, 4x. You have 4x, and then copy the rest of it because nothing goes with 2x squared. Okay, so I look at this one. I see a 6x minus x, 5x. I see a 3x squared minus 1x squared. Well, 3x squared minus 1, 2x squared. Okay? None of it's any harder. You just got to kind of pick at it until you get them all put together the right way. Okay? So basically this was homework for 4th, 5th, and 7th. Most everybody's finished their work today. Even 7th should have plenty of time to finish this. Okay? It's just some good practice combining. Guys, the next thing that happens with this topic, and it's not yet, but if we plugged in numbers in all of this, if I told you x is a number, y is a number, whatever, you then just have an order of operations problem. It might be longer than what you're used to, but it's just an order of operations problem. Okay, please remember to keep studying your fraction to decimal equivalences for Friday's test. And then tomorrow we'll do a review. It's kind of all up here. We'll do the of all the stuff, everything we've done this week for Friday's unit test. Finish this. Thank you.